to my channel. Your girl G here. Appreciate you for tuning in. We are right back at it to talk about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I was originally gonna do Real Housewives of Potomac and Salt Lake City together, but that review ended up running a little bit longer than I expected. So I'm just gonna do two separate videos. So let's go ahead and hop right into it, you guys. So if you're new to my channel, I appreciate you for tuning in. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Everybody else, drop down in the comments and tell me what you think about this episode. Do you guys think Lisa is, pushing it? Is Lisa behind all the sneaky games of this season? Is she coming for Angie? Is she coming for Mary? Is she coming for Whitney? Because god dang it, it sure does look like it, okay? So we open up the episode with Lisa and her boys going to the event space. Y'all know her sons have Fresh Wolf, like that, like Hair Caroline or whatever. Lisa definitely puts a lot of emphasis on the success, her boys, like, just this like idea of like, just like of success and like this hitting this, life status that's super important to Lisa. You can tell. Now, I need the psychology behind it all. I know for sure that Lisa said she was like one of many kids or something like that. So Lisa clearly didn't get enough attention as a child. She felt neglected as a child. And this is her way basically to prove to her, they must have told her, mentally effed her up, because Lisa it's not making any sense with how she is the way she is and completely unaware to be able to see it. Like, or either this bitch just sees it and she playing stupid. But nonetheless, she's so proud of him. I'm just so proud of Jack and Henry. They're just so great. That little fake laugh. My sons are so great. So they're walking through, and they basically said that they are connecting with the foundation for foster care. So foster care, that ends up being an issue down the line. So we move over to Heather, Whitney, and Mary going out for lunch. And they end up asking Mary about how she's doing with Lisa. Like, is everything okay? And she's like, yeah, it just was a, weird moment. And Whitney was like, are you sure? Like, you kind of went at it. Like, they know Lisa basically to be the poker. She likes to poke behind the scenes, poking your back, just poke, 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 poke. And so these bitches is like, we see it. Lisa has perfected the nice nasty really well. Oh my God, Whitney, we should definitely get together and let's do a makeover. What's wrong with my clothes? It's just so Utah. Bitch, that's where we from. Then it's like, oh my God, like, are you serious? Like, she just like, oh my God. Like, it's just so, she has perfected nice nasty. Lisa to me is Regina George. She has officially become Regina George. It's the, oh my God, that skirt is so cute. I love it. Oh my God, that's the most freaking effing ugliest skirt I've ever seen. Like, everybody's seen Mean Girls when she did that. Yeah, so vintage. Oh my God, that's the ugliest effing skirt I've ever seen. And then it's like, bitch, what the fuck? Like, wait a minute, I just got whiplash. How the hell we go from that to that? So, basically, Lisa and Heather, Whitney and Heather are both on this train of, we peep you, Lisa. We've been peeping it from the beginning. Now it's just trying to get these other hoes to see you ain't shit, basically. So they asked Mary, like, what triggered you in the first place to go off like that? Like, dang, what happened, Mary? And she was basically like trying to connect the fact that her mother, like feeling neglected by her mother used to always tell her she was wrong. And so when Mary, oh gosh, hold on, y'all. I don't know what that was. Got stuck in my throat. So, Mary was basically trying to connect her mother cutting her down to Lisa saying, oh my God, like, Mary, are you sure about that? Like, are you serious? Like, let me Google that. Like, I don't know. Like, Mary, you kind of lost me on that one, but it felt real to her. She over there tearing up and whatnot. She does tell the story about how her mother and her don't really have a good relationship because she thought, she should have took over the reins after her mother passed away. The grandmother passed everything to Mary instead of the mom. And so the mom felt some type of way, and now she pissed off and they don't have a relationship. But they're asking, Whitney and Heather asking Mary, like, okay, like, do you see Lisa now for who she is? Like, are you still friends with her? Because in order to be friends with Lisa, it's contingent upon you basically got to eat Lisa's ass to stay her friend in her friend circle, basically. Like, if you're not for Lisa, you're against her. That's how she feels it. And the slightest thing that she feels like you're checking her or you're calling her out or you're trying to correct her, she'll go behind the scenes and pull some shit. Or if she feels like you're, trying to mooch her friends, like, be close with her friends or anything like that, it's her basically trying to, like, cut you out. Like, she gonna out, right? Chop, chop. So they were just trying to explain that to Mary, and she's like, oh no, I don't view Lisa that way. It's just like, either you're her friend or you're like, I just see it as either you're my friend or you're not. And both Whitney and Heather are just kind of like, right, okay. So speaking of Lisa, her sons are doing a photo shoot for the product and for, the event and whatnot. So Jen comes down to see her, and she calls herself like the fun Auntie Jen. She was like, yeah, Lisa might be going to be doing a photo shoot, but bitch, I showed up with a whole wolf on my head. And it actually was kind of cute, like the whole, wolf get up. Like, it was actually cute. So she goes in there, and Jen and her sit down and, mooching on their little accoutrements, their little charcuterie boards and whatnot. And Lisa checks in on Jen. She's asking how she's doing, and she's like, how are you doing with everybody? And Jen's basically just like, I'm just, really trying to move on with everybody, and I'm just so tired of being, in the past with everybody. I just really want real friends. And she's like, well, Lisa's like, well, speaking of real friends, can we talk about, and they bleeped out the name. And she was like, how are you doing? And Jen was kind of like, I feel so betrayed. I hired him because he was from Hawaii. I didn't do my, due diligence. So basically, short story is, Jen hired a fashion designer and he was going to do work for an event. From her side, he didn't deliver. And then from his side, it was Jen didn't even didn't even follow up with him for there to be any design made up with. So it's basically like some he said, she said, but the leaked audio is what the problem is, because even if either or are true, Jen, the way you was talking to that man was crazy. Like, you do understand that, right? And Jen still, I'm just so sick of being lied to, trying to find real friends and people just betraying me. So then Lisa saw that as a good time to try to throw Whitney under, once you try to call Lisa out for something, she is very behind the scenes with her sneaky shit, okay? So now she's trying to pull Whitney into it. Well, that's just right. I really want to defend you. Like, I'm just so loyal as a friend, Jen. I really feel like nobody's defending you. And of course, Jen agrees with it. I'm just so tired of this. Like, people always coming for me. She's like, right. I just want to see, like, how do you feel about Whitney sending him, product? Like, I would never do that to anybody. If I saw Jen got in a fight with anybody, I wouldn't send them Vita tequila. And it was like, this is just like so crazy, right? Because Lisa, you're friends with Meredith, and Jen did the shit that she did, and you had no problem trying to maintain that friendship, right? Because Jen was foul in how she treated Meredith, and Meredith was very hurt by the things that Jen said, but yet you still maintained loyalty to both somehow. So how is it that you can do that, but can't nobody else be friends with two people at the same time? Real funny. So she throws Whitney in it and was like, how do you feel about Whitney sending him products? And Jen's like, first of all, like, I didn't even know about that. Like, I'm not even paying attention to other people, because if I paid attention to other people, my therapy wouldn't be working. I would still be back there, right now. And Lisa, I just wanted to say, you know, because I just feel like, you know, if you don't want to say something, like maybe I can, you know, I just really feel like that's just so hurtful for her to do that, you know, and she can't try to be your friend and, you know, send him things at the same time. Like, somebody should say something to her, right? And, you know, I didn't know if that was going to be you, like, or if you wanted me to. And it's just like, for Whitney to just really do that was just so crazy. Like, doesn't she understand that that could be so hurtful to you? And it was kind of like, oh, I see where this is going with me. Lisa, I see where this is going. Bitch, you are so not settled with your shit. Like, you have not perfected the craft of being a shady bitch. Like, you're very, like, you aren't subtle with it. Like, bitch, you had that girl come up to the dinner table talking about, oh my gosh, I can't believe Angie's doing that to you, Lisa. And it's like, wait a minute, girl, I don't even know you. What? Like, Lisa, you are not as slick as you think you are, bitch. Like, everybody. And you know the thing about being like the person that you are, the camera, as much as you try to hide it, the camera picks it up, okay? And viewers aren't stupid. And Lisa, everybody's starting to put 2 and 2 together with your ass, and it ain't adding up to 4, okay? That's all we trying to say. As perfect as you want to try to portray yourself, miss, something in the milk ain't clean. So she basically tells Jen, like, oh my God, you know, like, I'm definitely going to be there for you. Like, I just really, you know, want to be a loyal friend, and, you know, and Jen was just kind of like, you know, I can only be there for people who are going to be there for me. You know, I'm just so sick of getting hurt, you know, all that type of shit. And it's like, Jen, you the craziest one out here, and you the main one saying foul stuff out of everybody. So cut that bullshit out. So we see a little scene where Heather goes out with Meredith talking with their daughters. There wasn't really too much going on. They were basically talking about college. And I love Heather because this bitch got stories. She talked about how she was 18, went off to Cancun. She found a way that she said, I'm gonna travel the world, bitch. She ended up being a travel companion for a little person. And she was like, shit, I want me a fifth of vodka, like, when I was 18. Like, she was just, like, so excited. She said, bitch, I'm gonna go out here and live before I get married and pop out these babies and be stuck barefoot and pregnant at the house. I'm gonna do something. And so that's why it's so exciting to see her, like, push her daughters to actually, you know, experience the world. Because it's like, once you get married, who would? That shit's over. Okay? If you don't have the right husband, he gonna have you locked away in a cave down in the basement. All right? So yeah, it was like a little scene like that. Then we had a scene where Jen went over to see Heather, and she brought like little sex toy gifts or whatever. So they were like kind of playing a little game, and it was like toss the ring on the penis or some shit like that. So they end up actually talking, you know, about Whitney and Lisa at the same time. You know, they're flashing over to Lisa's event with her sons. They come in, everything looks nice. Meredith was invited, and just Lisa's like, you know, Henry and Jack, they've just done everything. I'm just so proud of them. Like, this is their business, and you know, they're just gonna take it to the top. I'm just so proud of my boys. My boys, so successful. I'm so loyal. It's just like, ugh. This Regina George ass bitch. Like, I cannot stand Lisa with the fakery. And it's like she be act like people like, bitch, we see you. I know you see me, saw me, see you. Like, girl, you are not smooth with it at all. But nonetheless, she's over there, invites Meredith and her sons and everybody there. And they're doing the event, and we see a black dude in the corner, and apparently, I think his name was Cameron or something like that, but the black dude was kind of like on the camera, like when they pan the room, but there was no introduction, or like we didn't see him towards the end of the episode. So when Jen is over there at Heather's, Jen is talking to her about, you know, Lisa, and how Lisa brought up to her, you know, the fact that Whitney had sent that guy some product or stuff, because Heather was checking on her, like how she was doing after the audio leaked and everything. And she was like, I'm just good. I'm just really trying to find real friends. And, Lisa was talking to me about how Whitney sent, they bleeped it out, how they sent him product. And I'm just so, and Heather was like, what? She was like, I'm sure maybe, I'm sure like he bought it. Like Whitney doesn't really send out products like that. So maybe he bought it and just tagged her. Like, I'm sure that's probably how it went. And so then Heather's like, well, wait a minute. Why is Lisa even telling you that? Like, what does that got to do with anything? And Jen's like, right, she was telling me. She was like, oh. She's like, she's trying to make Whitney look bad. Like, Jen, you got to see this, right? Like, she doesn't want you to be Whitney's friend, I'm guessing. And she was like, yes, the way she was telling me, she was definitely like, trying to get me on board to be mad at Whitney. And so Heather's like, here we go again. Like, the Lisa, like, fakery. It's like fourth grade all over again. Like, you don't want to play with her in the sandbox because her hands are dirty. Like, come over here and play with me. Or you don't want to hang out with her because she, doesn't have the cool shoes like us. Like, you want to come hang out with us. And like, I think Lisa her value is in feeling like she's the upper echelon. Like, she has access that nobody else has. She likes being the entryway. Like, if she doesn't feel like she's the end all be all for somebody, it pisses her off. Which is why it made her mad Whitney became friends with Angie, because she felt like she had this exclusive friendship with Angie. Like, that's what it is. Lisa likes feeling exclusive. She likes feeling like she has just that little something that nobody else has. And if she doesn't see value in you, if you have the same, access as her, the same friends as her, it pisses her off, which is why she didn't like the fact that Whitney and Angie became friends. She views Whitney as less than. Whitney called it out before. Lisa liked to play around with oh my God, that's not who I am. And after this season, sure enough, seems like it, Lisa, okay? But Heather was like, yeah, here we go with Lisa once again with the games. Like, are we serious, Lisa? Like, you still haven't grown up? And so now Heather's looking at her like, well, that's crazy. Like, she's trying to get you to be, basically not be friends with Whitney because she just invited her to an event. The only reason she didn't go is because, Whitney was feeling sick. So it's like, which one is it? Are you fucking with Whitney or are you not? But on you being flip-floppy, you talking on both sides of your neck, Lisa. And so she's like, well, then, she has like another event going on. Did you even get invited? And Jen was like, no. She was like, well, that's crazy. Like, it's for her kids. And, they partnered with a charity for, foster care. And she's like, what? Foster care? She's like, my aunt just adopted 2 boys. Like, really? Like, really, Lisa? Jen loves to make a good, oh my God, like, are you serious? And so she was like, but Heather basically looking at her like, kind of like, bitch, I told you. So at the event, some lady was talking to Lisa and was like, oh my God, like, are you good with Jen? Because that was just so crazy. You handled yourself so well. I just, hope you guys get that fixed. And so Meredith was standing there at the same time. And it was kind of like, what? Like, what happened? And so Lisa tells her about how Jen and old dude, from the clip, were going off, and how she kind of felt like, she's trying to make sure Jen has loyal friends with her, and she didn't like the fact that Whitney was talking about her or something. And so Meredith kind of hit her with the okie doke, like, Jen doesn't like when people talk about her, but she sure does love having everybody else's name in her mouth. Everybody talks about everybody, so she ain't the only one. And Lisa Loki kind of was like, what is Meredith was on her ass. So then, in the midst of them talking, this black dude comes up, right? And he's talking to Lisa and was like, oh my God, thank you for inviting us. I just really wanted to, say hi to you before I left. And as they're talking, the photographer walks up and pulls Lisa away. So then Meredith is stuck talking to the dude. And he's like, let me just introduce myself. He's like, oh no, Lisa introduced him, was like, oh yeah, he he previously went to Mary's church. Like, you're friends with Mary, right? She's really good friends with Mary. And, they previously knew each other. And so Meredith's like, yeah, I love Mary, went to her church. It was cool. So when they pulled Lisa away, dude low-key started with the fuck shit. He go, oh yeah, I know Mary, I was a part of that church for 7 years, but, some things happened that I just really wasn't into. So I just had to part ways. So Meredith's like, wait a minute. Like, I know Mary, I love the church. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, sometimes people just do things, it was just really against my character and who I was as a person. And I just really felt like it just wasn't a best environment for me. There are lovely, God-fearing people over there, but they just don't know what's going on. So Meredith is like flat out like, what are you talking about? And he's like, I just, just beware. I don't want to like put that business out there. It'll one day it'll come out. And so he walks away, and Meredith's kind of like, the fuck, just like, wait a minute. And so she goes up to Lisa and was like, homie was over there talking to me in like cryptic message, like dropping like random like nuggets of negativity. And she's like, I'm just confused. Like, do you know what he's talking about? So then here we go with Lisa. This bitch, like, she's not smooth with it. Lisa's like, well, I've known him for a long time. And, he did previously go to Mary's church. And that's why, I keep them separate. Like, that's why he's here and Mary's not. So Meredith's like, so did he tell you? Like, are you aware of what he's talking about? And she's like, well, I've known him for a long time, and he has filled me into some things. So, he definitely feels, a certain type of way. And I don't want to, diminish or minimize his experiences with Mary. And Meredith's like, well, I know Mary. Like, you can't just come up to me and I tell you all these great things about a person, and then all of a sudden you just plop in my lap, well, beware, don't trust her. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that? So then Lisa's kind of like, well, it's like he's just got a lot going on with Mary. And I mean, we don't have to talk about it tonight, definitely not tonight. This is not the night to talk about it. But things are just, things with Mary and him just, they just had a lot of things going on. And it's kind of like, Lisa, did you really just bring this man on here to do that? Because that's what it's looking like. Looks like you brought another person on here to try to F up somebody else's life because you didn't like the fact that Mary, had a blow up with you. Lisa does not like getting embarrassed or looking bad. And the minute she feels like you've done that or kind of like, knocked her down a few pegs, she don't like it. So she comes back with the burn book, basically. She pulled a Regina George with the burn book and came back and threw the papers in the hallway, and everybody started to look at the secrets of each other and blame who. And she's over there looking like this, like, yep. Burn, bitches, burn. And that's what's going on. She over there just stirring the pot, y'all. And it's like, Lisa, bitch, we see you. And I cannot wait for the reunion. Because, girl, they gonna get in that ass. And we not gonna sit here and pull the, oh my God, I just can't even imagine this. You would think I'd be such a bad person. Oh my God, I'm not doing this right now because I'm just so hurt. Like, I just can't. Like, do you really think of me that way? Like, who would ever do something like that? The white woman tears. The white woman tears. The lies. Like, it's... Girl, Lisa, you lucky you ain't in the hood, because a bitch might have bopped you by then. Because you playing games, and you playing people's faces, and not only that, what pisses me off the most is she's a bitch who try to play on people's intelligence. That is what really pisses me off the most. Don't be a bitch, don't try to play on my intelligence, because now you're trying to call me stupid, like I don't see what you're seeing, bitch. Like you ain't gonna tell me like I'm not seeing what I'm seeing when I know I'm seeing what I'm seeing. Period. So that was Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So tell me how you feel about the episode. Do you guys feel like Lisa's, behind the scenes just back there stirring, or is this just a big misunderstanding, okay? Do you feel like that black guy really got some tea on Mary, or do you feel like he just got like he got hearsay and is just using it to like come on the show? But next week, they start confronting Lisa, okay? And Jen about to get locked up. They won't let her out. All right, y'all. So that is Salt Lake City. Make sure to follow my Instagram and Twitter, you guys. And I will catch you guys back for Black and Crew Chicago. See you then. Bye.